Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Now, I know nothing about this person. I don't watch the news. I would rather not get depressed. But someone recommended I read this person's palms last week, and I thought it was a great suggestion. Very current, very fitting, and I'm all up for carrying out these kinds of suggestions that you guys make, and I'm really pleased that people are making them. So keep them coming in. Someone else suggested doing a footballer. That's on the cards. So don't worry. I was going to do Jackie Chan this week, but no, we're doing Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Now, all I know about this person is what his hands are telling me. So, first of all, let's look at the chirognomy aspect. I'm already picking up on a few things chirology-wise. But the first thing I notice here is a short Jupiter. I mean, I'm not certain that's short, but it's shorter than Apollo. Reputation matters to this person. This is certainly an able communicator. So first things first, this is something I really want to point out. Apollo leans in towards Saturn, as does Jupiter. Now, this is a good sign because it paints a picture of an upstanding citizen. And this is because Apollo is our environment, it's our talents, it's our reputation, it's glory, it's what makes us shine. And it's how we expose ourselves to the outside world, which is partly why it relates to environment. And Jupiter is decision making, it's judgment and authority and ambition and ego. So when these two fingers lean in towards Saturn, Saturn is this it's the finger that is most prominent because it's the one that's most inevitable. It kind of cuts the palm in half for a lot of us. It's planning, it's essential, it's inevitability. It's doing the right thing. It's doing the right thing because it's our sense of right and wrong, and it shows that. So when we have Apollo leaning and Jupiter leaning, it's showing that our ability to put ourselves out there, our reputation, and our decision making, our ego and our judgment and our authoritative qualities are all kind of relying on our conscience, our sense of right and wrong. So it actually paints a positive picture about a person. This is a good sign. It's exactly the sort of sign you want to see in a leader of people. Another sign that you really want to see in a leader of people is the width of a person's palm. A nice wide palm is a good thing because it shows capability when dealing with people, and that's because the central plane of Mars is widened, and that shows Mars is where we fight our battles, it's our social dealings. So when we have a good width to our palm, it shows we have a good handle on difficult social situations. It shows we have an ability to facilitate difficult discussions, or at least the inherent sort of abilities there. And anyone with a wide palm is inherently better, or more equipped at least, than the average person, to be a better judge, social worker, police officer, person in a place of power where judgment is required. Now, this thumb is the elephant in the room. Look at it. I mean, it's practically... Look at it. It's just a very strong thumb. We've got a great deal of willpower. It's well balanced as well. It's not bulbous. That's an exaggeration. But it's just so uniform, and it's strong, it's long, it's a good thickness. Ideas of this person are balanced in terms of this. This is exactly what you want to see in a leader. This is perfect. This shows that this person is not going to be pushed around, but they're also not going to do the pushing around. This is someone who's measured, that will listen to other people, will accept and take on board what other people are saying, but they have the strength to put their own ideas across and have the sense as well, I feel, to know what's right. This is someone who is, you know, if we saw a thumb that was quite sort of high set and quite stiff, quite angled, you know, that was quite sort of bulbous, and then you know, kind of got a little bit wasted here, this would not be the good sign. These would all be bad signs. We see actually the ideal, these are ideal signs you want to see in a leader. This is a low set thumb, bit of a humanitarian. The heart line is low set. Okay, I'm jumping into the chirology here, which shows this person has this is someone who is how can I put this? They can be taken in by a sob story, perhaps. Their heartstrings can be pulled on. However, notice how the heart line, as low as it is, and maybe this is the angle of the image, but it's not as much space in between the head and the heart line as on the right hand. And if this is an accurate depiction here, this would show that this person is actually not as warm at home than they are outside. They present themselves as quite a warm person, but at home they are the kind of firm but fair type. Forgive me for sighing. So look at this is something that really confused me. Now the lifeline, it appears to double here, but that's not actually what's happening. And then also you've got this line that joins up with the headline as the headline reaches down. This is quite a creative individual. Yeah, this is certainly someone who's what you expect to see from a very kind of pragmatic and unimaginative military leader is a very straight heart line, and maybe headline, sorry, and maybe one that kind of reaches across the palm. But we don't see that with Volodymyr. What we see is a headline that reaches right down into this quite a wealthy, shall we say, well of imagination, and begins to touch a strong line of intuition. And actually, this in Russian palmistry is known as the mark of the vampire. And what this really provides a person with is exceptional intuition, and which kind of provides an appearance of a lucky individual. Whereas actually, they're probably just so intuitive, they know what to do and when, and just, you know, in the moment they know exactly how to act, what to say, what to do, what buttons to push, what cards to pick. Now the lifeline, what's actually happening here? Notice the lifeline starts on Jupiter. This is a highly ambitious person. And I mean, this is a fire hand, but only just. And this is kind of a common theme of fire hands, the lifeline stemming up on Jupiter. The headline as well is quite high set, and that's also indicative of an ambitious nature, as is the, you know, the doubling of fate lines. But what's interesting is this appears to be a doubling of the lifeline. That is not what's happening here. Lifelines that double are actually quite rare, and I think I've probably gotten this wrong myself on this channel in the past. But this is not what is happening. This is a Mars line, and this Mars line develops for this person at the age of around about 18, 19, and it's as though there's a need here for assistance, close to home perhaps. Sometimes Mars lines are referred to as guardian angel lines, and it's said that people with these have someone looking over them, guiding them, assisting them, helping them through with a kind of unforeseen forces, and that might be an explanation for this kind of luck that this person appears to have. But what is actually happening here is, I think we've got a highly ambitious individual that's chosen a militaristic kind of political path, and they require this assistance, and this assistance might come from close to home, This might be people in the family that's kind of, supporting, advising. Perhaps this person has, a very close friend who is very knowledgeable. Perhaps this is someone who is, very well connected, who's just helping and assisting in a way that's really hugely beneficial. And the loyalty line here is attached to this Mars line. So this is a superb sign, because really this is exactly what you need to see in a leader who is leading a country through conflict. And what's interesting is that this convergence shows there's this is actually an effort line that stems from the lifeline. I could be wrong. It could actually be a secondary fate line starting at the age of I'm going to say about 26. So it could be a secondary fate line. So this could be when this person began their political or military career. It would make sense that it's more sort of military, because a fate line that stems from the lifeline is always a career that is requires high energy, high physicality. And I mean, maybe it's possible that this, kind of change of course, of fate, changed this person's sort of emotional makeup. Perhaps it's changed the way they feel about. Maybe they just don't have the time anymore for those close at home, and that's what this would represent if this was a doubling of the lifeline. This would kind of essentially reduce the Venus mount to make it smaller and mean this person is not as warm. But that's not what I believe is happening. I think that actually this person is quite a warm individual. We see inherently this person has, large space in between the head and the heart line. And the heart line itself reaches right up onto Jupiter, and that shows a highly idealistic nature. But again, this loyalty here is exactly what you need to be seeing in someone who has to make decisions in the interests of many, the correct decisions. With everything else we're seeing here, this is a superb sign. It shows this person is devoted, they are honor bound, they're duty bound to their cause. Is directly linked with their Mars line. Mars lines are what we need when we fight battles. So it shows this person is directly, it's linked here, shows this person is duty bound, honor bound to this cause he is fighting. That's what this shows. I honestly didn't think I'd be able to find out this much from the pictures I snatched off Google. Now with both fate lines here, if that's what this is, in fact could just be an ambition line, but the meaning is very similar. They both point towards this, they're both kind of arcing towards Jupiter, and it appears to be a well-pronounced mount. And as I've already said, this is a place of judgment and authority, and that is hugely common with people, in the career path of leadership. It just makes sense. In a Mars as well, it actually is kind of a different color. You can see just how well developed. You can see the skin kind of folding upwards. It's raised. It's literally, this person has drive, determination, will, fire in them. This is a very fiery fire hand, but in a very measured way. Now again here with images not so clear, we can see on the right hand, for reference, we still have the same thing happening. We still have Jupiter and Apollo relying and depending on the sense of right and wrong, planning what's inevitable, and we also have here, you can see a well-developed mount of Luna. This person enjoys being in the limelight. He values reputation, but more than that, this is a highly creative person. I think this is probably not your average kind of military leader. I mean, I don't want to keep putting too much emphasis on military leader because he's a political leader, but in a time of military conflict. This is a more creative individual that I would normally associate with a politician. Normally military leaders have a very straight headline, whereas this person has quite a lot of adaptability and flexibility, and it's possible that his opponents may even criticize him for being too unrealistic, having these unrealistic ideas. But as I say, this measured response, this overall highly measured response, we've got here a very practical person. It's rectangular. I mean, is it a fire hand? It looks. The more I look at it, the more I think it's an air hand. There's both air and fire qualities here, but this is someone who is, bound by routine and order, things logical and practical, and this is someone that's certainly capable of listening and taking things in, absorbing, understanding, and trying out new ideas. This isn't someone who is just going to do what they want. This is someone who's going to do what's right for everybody involved. And I'm really pleased that I can say only good things here. I don't think I've got anything bad to say about this person. So that's cool. The only thing is, I can't see all that much detail, unfortunately, as is always the case with these case studies. I can only see what the palms are telling me, and the palms are blurry. If this is a cross at the end of what looks like a fate line, this doesn't bode well. This could be some sort of accident, and it could be. I mean, I don't really want to speculate because it's just so blurry. So I should probably just shut my big mouth. All things considered, this is a very positive reading, and I have high hopes for this person and their career. So overall, I feel like we have a really nice guy here, good head on his shoulders, and a very sensible and capable leader. So let me know what your thoughts are on this reading on Zelenskyy. Perhaps you've got your own thoughts and opinions. So and if you've got any thoughts as to who I should read for next week, then also throw them out there. But I've got my plans. I think I'm gonna do this football that someone suggested last week. I don't know their name. I don't know anything about football. I just read what the palms are telling me. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.